la lucha de los pobres, la lucha del pueblo, solamente esa lucha es la que va a rescatar. ¡Por allá, ¡aquí está el grupo!
Nicaragua, cristiana, bendita.
Would you trust your enemy to arbitrate in a domestic dispute? What would happen if you invite your enemy to solve a domestic conflict? But more important, what happens when you don't know who your real enemies are? What happens when you invite the author of a crime to investigate the scene? These are the thought-provoking questions for my Nicaraguan brothers and sisters. A few years ago, Nicaraguans were led to believe that the enemy of the Republic was the Somoza family. The Somoza dynasty ruled with the support of the United States from the year 1936 to 1979. To combat the Somoza dynasty and the U.S. military occupation of Nicaragua, a famous Nicaraguan leader by the name of Augusto Cesar Sandino emerged. He vehemently opposed the intervention of the United Nations in the administration of his country. Finally, his constant revolutionary effort paid off when the U.S. military bases left his country. This leader was made to pay for his endeavor with his life when he was assassinated by the National Guard soldiers. But what is quite interesting is the fact that both Somoza and Sandino were members of the secret society called Freemasonry. According to the Grand Master Mario Alberto Coppola, Augusto Sandino and Anastasio Somoza are separated by treason, but united by Freemasonry. Both antagonistic figures belong to Freemasonry, an organization that acts with a profile of a secret society. The Nicaraguan Revolution was the outcome of a clash between the U.S. foreign policy in Nicaragua and the liberation theology planted by the Jesuits. In other words, Nicaragua was a testing ground. Malachi Martin states, by the early 70s, at least 7 years before they grabbed for power, the Sandinista leaders openly claimed their ultimate aim: to create a Marxist society in Nicaragua to serve as a womb from which Marxist revolution throughout Central America would be born. Revolution throughout the Americas was a slogan. From their beginnings as a group, they were nothing more than ragtag guerrillas, bank robbers, and hit-and-run terrorists. The Sandinistas understood full well that they had no hope of installing Marxist regime in 91.6% Roman Catholic Nicaragua unless they could enlist, in effect, inhale the active cooperation of Catholic clergy together with suitable altered Roman Catholic Church doctrine and church structure. Mere passive nonevance of the part of the clergy would not be enough. If the Sandinistas wanted the very soul of the people, they knew the road. Roman Catholicism was intrinsically bound up in the warps and woof of Nicaraguan culture, language, way of thinking, outlook, and was integral to all the hope of the people. For some time, certain Catholic theologians in Latin America, principally Jesuits of the post-World War II period, had been developing a new theology. They call it the theology of liberation and is based on the theories of their European counterparts. It was an elaborate and carefully worked out system, but its core principle is very simple. The whole and the only meaning of Christianity as a religion come down to one achievement: the liberation of men and women by an armed and violent revolution, if necessary, from the economic, social, and political slavery imposed on them by U.S. capitalism. This is to be followed by the establishment of democratic socialism. The historical Jesus, for example, became an armed revolutionary. The mystical Christ became all the oppressed people collectively. Mary, the Virgin, became the mother of all revolutionary heroes. The Eucharist became the bread, The Eucharist became the bread freely made by liberated workers. Hell became the capitalist system. The American president, the leader of great capitalist country, became the great Satan. Heaven became the earthly paradise of the workers from which capitalism is abolished. Justice became the uprooting of the capitalist gain, which would be returned to the people, to the mystic body of Christ, the democratic socialists of Nicaragua. The church became the mystical body, the people deciding its fate and determining how to worship, pray, live under the guidance of Marxist leaders. The Nicaraguan people were the first Guinea pig on which the theory was experimentally tried. And the priests who were charter members in the Sandinistas' leadership, Jesuit Fernando Cardinal Ernesto Cardinal, Miguel de Escoto, Jesuit Alvaro Arguello, Edgar Parales of the Managua diocese, made the experiment doubly blessed and likely to succeed. If such men, duly ordained as priests, could successfully get this new theological message across, that the Sandinistas' revolution was a really religious matter sanctioned by legitimate church spokesmen, they would have both the Roman Catholic clergy and people as allies in Marxist-style revolution by armed violence. Stay tuned for the upcoming studies. Secret societies that ruled Nicaragua.